All right, guys. It's been almost a month living with the Yeezy Gap hoodie, and I've done everything that you kind of are supposed to do with it, and I'm now here to report my findings. So I wore it, I used it, I abused it, I washed it, I dried it in the dryer, I know, crazy, and I got all of the feedback and kind of my do's and don'ts of owning and living with this hoodie. Like, did it shrink? How did it dry? How does it wash up? So after a month, a few washes, wearing it all day, I got 2 babies, and if you know, those things are dirty and snotty and gross. I cooked in this hoodie. I did all kinds of stuff. And basically trying to figure out, is this thing worth it, and do you have to baby it? I purposefully did not baby it. I didn't try to treat it special. I wore it like I would any other hoodie, and now we're here to talk about it. While we're on the topic of Ye, did you like the Genius documentary on Netflix? I really enjoyed episode 1 personally. Episode 2 and 3 fell a little flat for me. It's just unfortunate that the camera wasn't rolling for what I consider the golden era of Kanye's career, that 2010 to 2018. Like, there was no footage from Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Are you kidding me? Hawaii and everything. Like, if you know about the story behind that album and everything that went into it, it was really sucks not to see all that stuff. So I don't know, 6 out of 10 on that documentary. I really enjoyed the first act. I think if it would have just stopped with act 1 and just been like, and then the career went from there, I'd be probably happier with it. The rest of it felt like a letdown. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Now, this hoodie here, the Yeezy Gap hoodie, retails at that $90 price point. It still can be had for roughly that, a few dollars more if you're paying the resale and the fees and all that on this whatever websites that you cop from. In my opinion, in a nutshell, after wearing it, using it, washing it, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. $100 is for a hoodie like this is absolutely worth it. Kind of like what I echoed in the other video, I think you really are getting a very nice product at this price point. Now, first things first, I know a lot of people refrain from drying it in their dryer, so here's what happened. I've washed this now twice. The first wash I did was actually on low heat, and then the second wash I did was on medium heat. And so for people that are wondering, I use like a free and clear detergent, like no dyes, no scents. I did it as a time dry for like an hour and a half. We're talking 90 plus minutes on this thing because of how thick and how heavy it is. And that leads me into the first thing you gotta watch out for when washing and drying this hoodie is that because it's a double hoodie, because it's so thick, this thing takes forever to dry, and then it still doesn't dry. Like, I just pulled it out of the dryer and put it on right now after like an hour and 36 minutes on medium heat, and I feel moisture in the sleeves and I feel moisture inside the pocket. But I wanna get this video recorded, so that's why I'm just dealing with it right now. But what I'm gonna do as soon as this video ends is what I did the first time, which is turn it inside out and then run it again for probably another 30, 40 minutes. Now, that's a lot of drying. You're talking about a 2-hour dry time. I suppose you could hang dry it. A lot of people are hang drying it. A lot of people are just laying it out flat and letting it dry that way. I personally don't have the time for that, and I have lots of loads of laundry and everything, so I don't do that. And I also wanted to see if this thing was going to shrink up at all. I mean, it's obviously a cotton hoodie. Cotton is going to shrink, and because it's a double layer hoodie, I mean, who knows how this thing is really gonna react to the heat. Of course, I did low and medium heat. I did not dry it on high heat. And what I found was that overall, the fit still feels roughly the same. I think it contracted a little bit, but didn't shrink to the point where it's like, oh, it's ruined now. It already has the crop, and the sleeves are already pretty lengthy as it is, and they still feel almost the same as when I first pulled the hoodie out of the box. But I do feel like it did come in just a touch. Now, with the nature of this hoodie being so oversized, I think it actually worked to my benefit in this case. It's just not as flowy, not as billowy. So in a way, it did shrink down a touch, but nothing crazy, nothing to really worry about, and I think for most people, you might not even notice it. Now, living with the hoodie, actually using it for your day-to-day, it's fantastic for so many applications, right? I work on a laptop mostly every single day. I'm sitting, the hoodie is comfortable, it's clean, it feels good, beautiful. It works and functions great for that case. One thing that's interesting though, so like I said, I told you, I cooked in this thing, I dealt with my kids in this thing. Doing other things, specifically cooking, I found this every time I was cooking, these sleeves are very bulky, and I kind of just get this feeling like they were kind of getting in my way. So oftentimes after a while, I would just take the hoodie off, and that's just a minor thing. I don't think that's any reason not to wear or use this hoodie. The other thing though is wearing layers on top of this hoodie. Now it's very warm, right? It's a double hoodie, and you can get away with wearing this in most climates most of the time, but when it's hitting the single digits like it has been here in Detroit, I needed to put something over this thing, and I tried a couple different jackets. I had an oversized fleece, the White Mountaineering Uniqlo collab, so that was an oversized sleeved, oversized fit just like this hoodie, and even that one I was just like pushing and tucking these sleeves into the sleeves of that jacket, and it was the same way with another more slim fitting jacket that I had. Now it wasn't to the point where I couldn't wear the jackets, but it's something to consider. You're gonna be stuffing the sleeves and the shoulders of this hoodie into whatever you're putting over it, and that might give you a little bit more of a bulky look. I didn't find it to be like terrible. I didn't find it to be something that ruined the look of my jackets, but it is something to consider. This thing is just big, and that's just what it is. So overall, guys, if you were considering this hoodie and those are some of the things that you were worried about, I think for the most part, you're more or less in the clear. Now, if you're someone like me that really likes this hoodie and would consider owning multiples in different colors and having it as a real staple in your wardrobe, the one thing you gotta think about is just how long are you gonna be running that dryer every time you have to do laundry, because this thing does take hours to dry, and like I said, it's still not dry as I'm wearing it. I'm gonna go turn it inside out, pop it back in. So that's just, I mean, your electric bill or your gas bill, depending on how you run your dryer, might be a little higher rocking with the Yeezy Gap hoodies in your wardrobe. But overall, guys, I love the hoodie in my first review, and I gotta say, after some wear, some living with it, some real deal life test, this thing is awesome. It washes up well, stains came out just fine, everything about it is great. Now we'll see 50 washes from now, 6 to 9 months from now. We'll see how this thing feels next winter when I put it away and bring it back out when it gets cold again, and of course, I will hit you guys with that long-term use review as well, because why not? As you can see, full Yeezy by Gap, engineered by Balenciaga reaction video is here. The initial review on this hoodie can be found right here, and if you haven't already joined the fam, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Love you. See you on the next one. Peace.